Hey, what's up guys, Tony here, and what you're watching is some Rising Storm gameplay, and much like a bunch of people are doing right now, I'm doing a first impressions video of this game. And this is a game that was I was first told about by Scanner and Billy and Tim, and I think Scanner was the first one to actually pick the game up, and then Tim and Billy followed suit, or maybe it was all about the same time. But all I remember is that Scanner did a video, and then Billy did a video, and then now I'm doing a video. And oh yeah, and I saw a video by Sergeant Merrill. He did a video as well. So there's been a couple of videos out there that I've personally seen. There's probably a bunch of them right now, because it is, as far as I understand, it's a new standalone DLC for Red Orchestra 2, a game that I've actually never played, and to be honest, I never heard about. So as a guy who has a lot of friends who play a lot of different games, this is one they were talking about, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try. It was 20 bucks. I mean, it's $20 on Steam. I'm like, why the hell not? And you don't have to buy Red Orchestra. It's a standalone, so you can just go spend, buy your $20 Rising Storm game, and then be done with it, and you can get to playing. And the one thing that I did know right away, and I saw videos about it, and even though I saw videos about it, I wasn't quite prepared for it, but the game is like the hardest of hardcore modes. I have not played a game that is this hardcore in a long while. Like, sometimes you get shot and you have no idea where you got shot from. You just, boom, dead. And you're like, what? You know, and you see like, oh, so-and-so was X amount of meters away. And you're just like, holy shit, that was, that was fast. Other times you get shot in a non-vital place and you're just kind of like, oh, ow, you know, you pull that Peter thing and he's like, and you can like sit down, bandage your own wound by holding control. I think it is control on the keyboard. It's really intense. I mean, there's a gore factor as well. Like Tim was saying, he saw people's heads getting cut off. You know, if you shoot someone and if they're bleeding out, they're kind of like, you know, they got like these sound effects that are kind of graphic and gory. And Tim was just, he was like, I feel a little distressed because these people are like crying for their moms and stuff. It's really weird. But that aside, mechanically, the game, it plays like any modern shooter. Like people keep saying that it's like Arma and Battlefield 3, you know, married together. I've never played Arma 3, so I have no idea. But from my experience in Battlefield, it plays a lot like Battlefield. I mean, all the controllers are the same. There's some quirky things about the game, like you can't go prone in certain areas, even though you're like parallel with whatever object you want to go prone. It won't let you go prone. You have to give like enough space to, say, a bunker or an object to go prone next to it. You can't just like butt up right next to it and go prone, because I got shot one time and I was like mashing the alt button to go prone and it wouldn't let me go prone. I'm sitting there bleeding out. I'm just like, son of a bitch, just fall down, you know, but it wouldn't do it. So that's sort of an issue. You got to be aware of that when you're playing. But other than that, it is a lot of fun. It is a little frustrating to play at first, but after a while you kind of get the hang of it. It's a game that you really have to play a lot slower than most other games, just because if you come from a Battlefield, even though Battlefield is a slower game than Call of Duty, it's like making that transition from Call of Duty to Battlefield, where everything's happening so slow. So you go from Battlefield to this game, and suddenly it's just like, this game's really, really slow. Like, you have to take it really slow. You have to move methodically. You just can't run around the Battlefield because you can get your ass shot off. And then you'll be dead, and you'll have to wait 20 seconds to come back. So basically, in a nutshell, I think it's really worth a purchase, to be honest. It is a lot of fun. I do see it as a game that requires a lot more coordination than a lot of people are going to be used to, because Tim and I were playing and we just couldn't get support from our team. It was a really frustrating experience because he and I were playing the objective and our teammates were afraid to move. They didn't want to get shot by the Japanese because they had no idea where they are, and we didn't have any idea where they are, but we moved very slowly and methodically to clear certain areas. And we made it to the objective, and we armed it, or whatever you do. I don't know exactly what happened because Tim had done it, and I was just there. And then I got killed, and he got killed very, very quickly afterwards. And our teammates were still where they were. Like, we had pushed up so far ahead of them to take the objective, they were still like afraid for their lives in the bunker system of this complex. So it is a game that really requires a lot of communication between everybody on the team. And I see this game as something like, if you've got a TeamSpeak server, or if you know friends on Skype, you can get like, I don't know, 4 to 10 people together and just get on the same team. I think you're gonna have a great time with it. If you're a solo guy, you like playing solo, I think you'll still have a good time with it, but you'll have to understand that these people are afraid to die, and that's just the way it goes. The funny thing is, though, is while I was playing, I likened this to my World War II reenacting time, because for some of you guys who do not know, I used to do World War II reenacting. I haven't done it in a couple years, but I still have got all the gear, and that's why I've got my World War II weapons and such. But I noticed that people in the World War II reenacting community, they're afraid to die. I mean, you respawn, like, quote, respawn. You come back to life. You don't actually die. But people are inherently afraid to die for whatever, like, even, well, I shouldn't say for whatever reason. I was about to say that, but They're just afraid to die, even though they know that this is a simulation. It's a game, you know. You'll come back to life, but people are still afraid to die. So there are people in the reenacting community like myself, and I guess Tim would be one of them, but he doesn't reenact as far as I know, that we're the hard chargers. We're the guys who don't mind going out there, running through, you know, quote, bullets to take an objective or take a, you know, a pillbox or whatever. You know, we're the hard chargers. There are a lot of people who are not the hard chargers. They're the ones who sit back, they want to shoot their guns and suppress people, and they don't want to risk their lives. And that's what I've found, is that those people exist in the gaming community as well. Like, people are legitimately afraid to die in this game, and it really hurts the team because they're not moving up. So they, like when Tim and I were taking an objective, our, you know what's, were in the wind, and our teammates were safe behind their cover, not moving up. So be warned of that as you get into this game. There are people that just don't want to die. They just are afraid of dying, and you need to know that. That's honestly the only negative side I see of this game, is just the simple fact that some people are unwilling to risk their digital lives. They're, you know, it's funny too, because the death counter doesn't even show. You can get killed 100 times, or you can go 35 and 150 during a game, and your kills will only show 35 kills. Like, oh, look at that boss, he got 35 kills. Who cares how many times he died? But anyways, there's no ramifications for you dying a whole shitload of times besides the fact that you're actually going to spend time, you know, spawning in, 20 seconds spawning time. But other than that, there's nothing. So if you get in the game and you find all those people that are afraid to die, you might want to be like, hey, stop being afraid to die and just kind of move up or find a new server. So anyways, I'm kind of getting off on a tangent. I mean not to, but what I would, like I said, what I'd say is I think it's worth a purchase. It's a fun game. I do want to play it more, but I do want to play it with a larger group, and so I'm going to do my best to try to organize a larger group and maybe do like a live comm and some really good team communication. But that's how I'd want to play it. I'd want to play it with like 10 of my buddies going out there and communicating effectively to take objectives, because that's the kind of game I see this as. I mean, you could play it as a lone wolf. You really could. If that's what you enjoy doing, being the lone wolf, by all means, be a sniper or whatever and pick off guys to your heart's content. And have a good time. But anyways, like I said, I think it's worth a purchase. Just know that the game mechanics are solid. It's the players that might bring the experience down a bit. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I'll talk to you guys later.